Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, today we have a versus episode between Gradey Dick and Jordan Hawkins,
Mhm.
two of the best, the best two shooters in this draft, right? I think pretty
I would
comfortably.
say so, yes.
Gradey Dick of Kansas, 6'7", freshman, 19 and a half years old. Jordan Hawkins from UConn, the national champs, 6'4", 21 years old. Um, it's gonna be interesting comparing these two. We talked a little off air, and you love both of them, like
Yes.
just love with capital L, love them. So I'm a little lower on one. We'll get to them in a bit. But what do you want to start?
I think let's just start with the overview of both of them. I mean, both you already kind of mentioned it. 1 and 2 shooter in the league or in the draft. Sorry, both of them have elite 3-point shooting. They can do it in any way they want. I think Jordan Hawkins is a little bit better at that, but in terms of coming off of a screen, being a spot up shooter, pin downs, transition threes, whatever you want to do, they can shoot the ball. Um, Both of them hustle really well. They're not great defensively, but I don't think they're going to be minus defensively in the NBA. Both of them have a playmaking upside. I would say Gradey Dick is a little bit better at that. And then, I guess that's it really when you think of when you go through them.
Yeah,
So
Hawkins shot 281 threes on
yeah,
the year and shot
yeah,
39%. Gradey Dick shot 206 threes and at 40%. Um, for me, just watching Hawkins all year, and I had UConn winning my bracket, so I was locked in on them the entire time. He was electric. I mean, flat out electric. A shooter, the way he moves off the ball, the fluidity of his jump shot, the quick release, everything checks out. 89% from the free throw line. Um, Neither one shot great from two. So if we get the similarities out of the way off the rip, obviously the 3-point shooting is elite for both. Neither is great off the bounce, and neither is a great defender. I want to get into why I think Hawkins is a much better prospect than Dick. I actually have Gradey Dick.
man, that makes me feel good.
I actually have Gradey Dick significantly lower on my board right now. So
Then who?
than Hawkins.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay.
So I have questions. Here's why I just don't think you can take Gradey Dick with a top 10, 11, 12, 13 pick. And a lot of people have the Magic taking him at 11, or even maybe the Mavericks taking him at 10, like, something like that. I haven't checked like a lot of them. Let me see KOC's mock draft right now. I know he just updated it. But essentially, yeah, he has him going 11. How high is the ceiling for Gradey Dick? Because there's no way it's all-star. And
I
there's
have
there's
borderline
no way
all-star.
he's an all-star.
I have borderline all-star.
How would he ever be an all-star?
Borderline.
How? What player have we seen that can only shoot the ball and do nothing else on the basketball court make an all-star team?
I said
There's
borderline, but
there's none. Ray Allen was Ray Allen, young Ray Allen could
yeah,
obviously put on the floor. Like, this is
right,
a
right,
different level.
right.
Gradey Dick is not an athlete,
Agreed.
not defend. I mean, can't finish at the rim, is not defensively, he got hunted at Kansas. Hunted. Like, and that's on a Kansas team where in 95% of games that they were playing, they had more talent than the other team they were playing. Flat out. I just can't see his ceiling being high enough to be even I mean, he could be a starter in the league for a while. Like, I'm not gonna say he can't start, because obviously if you could shoot the ball, you could start. Like, JJ Redick was a starter. Like, yeah. But I'm just here like, there's no way he becomes an
Do you
all-star.
think it could be better than JJ Redick?
No. No.
Really?
JJ Redick was a scorer. JJ Redick
He
could
was.
score the ball
He
in
was a scorer.
in a lot more ways than
That's
Gradey Dick
true.
could.
That's
And
fair enough.
JJ Redick, coming out of college, was the freaking player of the year.
Also, good point.
Like, JJ
Also, good
Redick was
point.
the best player in college. Like, and obviously that's different because there was multiple years, very different from Gradey Dick coming out as a freshman. But still, like, JJ Redick could fill it up in a lot of ways. And so that's why I'm like, as a ceiling, I just don't think Gradey Dick's ceiling is high enough to take him. Honestly, I don't think he should go in the lottery. Anything outside lottery, I think is fair
Interesting.
because you're kind of playoff teams, maybe 20. You're looking
Well,
at a guy like
what are you looking for? 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll say 11 through 15.
a little bit higher upside, or actually a lot higher upside here. We just did Bilal Koulibaly. I'm taking Bilal Koulibaly, even though the floor is significantly lower. And I know they're completely opposite ends of the spectrum prospects. They're not even the same. But I'm just like, I couldn't take Grady. I'm taking Cason Wallace, right? I'm taking Keontae George personally. Nick
Hmm.
Smith is a little shaky. I don't know if I'm taking it, but
I
I'm taking
wouldn't take
Anthony
Keontae
Black.
George.
Like, the upside isn't there for me. And best case scenario, what's the best case scenario for Grady Dick? Like player wise, what comps do you have? Because I think Luke Kennard,
That's what I've written down.
like this is
You know where Luke Kennard was taken?
where 8,
12th.
12, something like that. Like,
Yeah.
bro, okay, then here's another one I have in my head, stuck in my head, ingrained in my memory. Remember Nick Stauskas?
I hated that guy.
Bro, I went back and looked at
The South.
draft stuff for him because he came out shooting 45% from 3. Just like knocked out. I loved that Michigan team. And he's not quite, I mean, he is a level below athletically and defensively than where Grady Dick was. There's no reason he should have gone top 10, like at all. But anyways, I have that stuck in my head. Like, what are we doing here? We've seen a lot of guys that can shoot the ball come in and not be able to play a lick of defense or be athletic and just don't make it. I think it's tough. I just think it lowers the ceiling, and I think he can be a starter in the league for 6 years, 7 years. I'm not saying he can't, but the ceiling is too low for me. And that's why I think, and to get to Jordan Hawkins real quick, I'll let you talk. I think Jordan Hawkins has the upside that Grady Dick does. Even though they are similar in a lot of ways, I think Hawkins at least flashed the playmaking, the defense, the overall scoring ability that Dick didn't.
I'm going to have to get up here and defend Gradey Dick now. That's
ahead.
crazy.
Do
I
it.
was not excited. I thought it was going to be complete opposite.
This is why I don't tell you. I don't tell you beforehand.
This is crazy. Listen, is he going to be a multiple-time All-Star? No. Is he probably going to be Luke Kennard? Probably. But if you're a team like the Mavericks, not in terms of the build, but you're picking in that 10 to 15 range, you probably already have a really good player. Stop. You probably already have a really good player. You don't need a guy that's on ball. You're not going to listen when you're picking that. You're not. You either shoot for the stars, or you get a guy that has an elite transfer skill. I think Gradey Dick has a high potential. I think he can be. I'm not going to say he's going to be Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson's way better defender. But I think in terms of scoring, he can be a Klay Thompson. He takes one dribble. He can score 20 points with 10 dribbles. I think that's possible for Gradey Dick. He's 6'8". He's not a great defender, but his defending got a lot better his second year. And I also think that I guess he's a one and done. Just kidding. I'm thinking of somebody else. At the rim, I think is also good enough for now. Shot 58% at the rim. Doesn't shy away from contact. I think that there is something there that's not just a shooter. Luke Kennard is just a shooter. I have him as a comp, but I think Luke Kennard is the floor for him, and I think Klay Thompson light is, in terms of a scorer, is the ceiling for him.
I pulled up the draft. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I pulled up the draft because Pelicans 14.
If I was the Pelicans, I'd take Gradey Dick over Koulibaly.
Probably. Yeah. Because they just took Dyson Daniels. So
I hate Dyson Daniels anyways. So.
I'm just here. Okay, and maybe the Thunder. Like Thunder at 12. And maybe the Magic in theory have enough. Do they have enough?
They need a shooter. Like why would you take you mentioned why would you take Keontae George over Gradey Dick if you're the Magic? You have 3 guards that have to have the ball in his. Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony,
Banchero, as well.
Paolo Banchero, yeah, exactly.
Not a guard, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, he has to have the ball in his hands.
Okay. So I talked a lot about Gradey Dick, but I wanted your thoughts on Jordan Hawkins because
Jordan Hawkins is my player. If I could draft him anywhere, like I have a floor and a ceiling, and both of them say Rip Hamilton. Obviously, that's a joke, but I had to stick. Listen, this is the only player, and I think in the 3 years that we've scouted, where it's like it is insane how good his shooting is in every facet of the game. Obviously, Gradey Dick's a great shooter, but I think Jordan Hawkins takes it to another level where his footwork and shot look exactly the same. no matter what he's doing. If he's coming off a pin down, and what's crazy too is UConn had a deep playbook. I mean, you saw him come off of so
Yeah,
many different
everything.
everything, and I think instantly an NBA team can be okay. Let's just do exactly the same thing, and then he gets free, moves around in space, great, boom, three, makes it. I mean, that is what Jordan Hawkins is instantly in the NBA, is an elite 3-point shooter, I think.
I have a Buddy Hield written down because I think he can score on a similar rate of Buddy. Buddy's obviously shooting the ball and coming off screens. Like you said, his jumper is more fluid than Gradey Dick's. Like
Yeah,
in the sense of like he can be off balance. His feet can be like all the way around, and he's still the release is like the same.
yeah,
It's just perfect. Now obviously I mentioned it before, the self-creation of Jordan Hawkins is limited right now. He's not doing a ton, but the way he comes off of pin downs and has defenders closing out hard to him, we saw we saw flashes of him doing a one dribble pull up, two dribble pull up, like
yeah,
those type of things, sidestep threes. Like we saw flashes of all of that stuff that I think can turn him into a Buddy Hield type of player, to where you're getting threes off in a lot of different ways. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't think self creation obviously is a weakness of mine, but I don't think for him to be a great player in the NBA, I don't think he needs to be able to self create.
Well, he has to get better at something,
Right.
right? That's the whole thing. That's why I just don't think Gradey Dick can get better at anything.
I don't
Flat out,
think.
he's not gonna be a defender. He's not gonna create for his own. He had 2 isolation plays the entire year at Kansas.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want him dribbling the ball.
Right.
Flat out. Hawkins, I'm not gonna say they wanted him dribbling the ball a ton either, because they had a bunch of good players on the team like Newton and Jackson and stuff. But still, I think he at least showed flashes of being like, all right, he can do a little move, a little step back, a little side step, and he can finish it. I also think he ran the floor really well in transition. Like he hunts his shots better.
Yeah.
Maybe that's him being older, obviously. But I think all of that, and then defensively, I think while he's not a great on-ball defender right now, there is a certain awareness level, and there's a certain motor and overall IQ that he has on defense that is a level above Gradey Dick right now. And I feel better about him, betting on him as a defender, even though I don't think he'll ever be a plus defender or a great defender. I think he can stay on the court. Like we've seen, I don't want to say Max Strus, because Max Strus is a little bigger and stronger, but I mean, maybe Hawkins puts on a little weight and gets stronger. But
Yeah.
that's just where I see Hawkins as a better prospect there, because of I think he can get better at something. I could
Right.
see him being a good defender at some point. I could see him creating a little bit more for himself. I can see him, maybe getting better at the rim or something like that. Like there are avenues there, so that's why I like Jordan Hawkins a lot here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you in anything you said, because I love Jordan Hawkins. I mean, the thing that I think impresses me most, obviously, is threes. But I think, like, if you have him, where is he projected right now? Like 18 for a lot of big boards, 14 around there.
Something like that. 20, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just say we'll say that because you already talked about the Pelicans. Say the Pelicans get him. I mean, he instantly comes in and he can become. I mean, he could be putting up 12 a night.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
like, do you take him or Keontae George? If you're
see,
the
I don't,
Pelicans.
but I hate Keontae George.
Okay.
So I would take Jordan Hawkins.
I'm making this point of like, if you're the Pelicans, you get a guy that can come in and immediately shoot the ball.
That's what I mean. And I mean, it's instantly, like I said, the last 3 years, I haven't seen a player that instantly could come in and do this, which is, I guess pretty impressive.
I'm looking through the 2022 draft right now. Just because they really didn't have a shooter like these guys. Really at all. I mean, Ochai Agbaji, we were very low on because he had nothing else. That's just, he kind of like, I mean, Gradey Dick 2.0, but Gradey Dick is younger, obviously, in which you give him, and he's a little bigger, I think.
Yeah.
You give him the benefit of the doubt there. I'm trying to think of the great shooters in this draft. Keegan Murray was a good shooter. AJ Griffin was the one that we were very high on as a shooter, but he had some injuries.
Jabari Smith Jr.
Who was it?
Rockets. Jabari Smith Jr.
Oh, Jabari Smith. Yes, I've never heard anybody say the junior at the end of his name.
Just because I've seen his dad's name pop up with senior now, so now I have junior stuck in my head.
Okay, yeah, Jabari Smith. Yeah. So, yeah, there really aren't any of these like two guys the level that they can shoot the ball. At least last year, if we go back in time, obviously there's plenty, but still, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure because I'm not sure how quickly either of them can help a winning team, but I think the ceiling of Hawkins is a little bit higher personally, which I know it's an unpopular take. People love Gradey Dick, so we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong in a couple years, and Gradey Dick is like I don't even know who he could be as a ceiling, but maybe he develops into somebody that I just don't see at this moment.
Where do you have the ceiling for both? I mean, I guess you already kind of said Gradey Dick. You said,
Yeah.
6-year starter.
Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard is the ceiling. He didn't even start for 6 years. He started for like maybe a year and a half.
I was gonna say, how many years did Luke Kennard start? Oh, Luke Kennard got a bag though. Don't forget.
Yeah, that's true. But the Pistons count as a starting, like, is like if you when you kind of starting, do you count that?
No, yeah, he actually didn't start many games. 2020. Jordan Hawkins. I think Buddy Hield's a good ceiling. Again, I don't know if Jordan Hawkins makes an All-Star game either, but if he's Buddy Hield, good lord.
Yeah.
Like Buddy Hield that made the most threes in the NBA last year. Like this is a guy that I could see being in that vein of like, oh, he's a top 5 shooter in the league immediately. So, and he's on the court enough to where it matters. So,
last question I have for you. Since you already said that you have Gradey Dick way lower than Jordan Hawkins, what's this difference looking like on your big board?
I might have Hawkins too high right now. Personally, I have Hawkins at 15 right now.
Okay, where's Gradey Dick if you have him way lower?
20.
Dang, that's kind of crazy.
We'll see. I'm also. I mean, we've talked. We'll talk about it on another on another episode. But the players I'm low on.
Right.
Kobe Buffkin. Down.
All my players, my lovable players, are getting destroyed.
Yes, it's good. It's good to have some variance there. All right, but that's all we got for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. We'll be back. I think this is the last of our verses. This and the Koulibaly versus Repair ones, and then we'll get into big boards coming up, mock drafts, all that good stuff. So stay tuned to BCB for more content. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll talk to y'all later.